Greetings and salutations, everybody. This is Mecha GM, and I am back with a new episode of Three Men in Anime. Actually, it's a special episode because we have a fourth host today.
Oh,
We
man.
have a special guest for a special episode. There will be a test at the end. What moral did you learn?
What? Hang on. No one told me that I had to pay attention during the show. So you're gonna need to hang on. Let me get my notes. And I'm not wearing my lucky shirt. And also, I need a dart gun so that I can poison the student standing next to me, so it'll throw off the bell curve.
I'm sorry, I wasn't paying attention. What were you saying?
All right, I'm sitting next to Eric. Got it. Okay.
So we are joined by our good friend Nik Freeman, White Rule of Time, host of Weekly Manga Recap with Roller T. Thank you for joining us, Nick.
Yeah, it's we've done this before,
We have.
but it's been quite a while.
Yep.
So it's good to be back with you guys. We hang out plenty of times off of this podcast, but it's
Yeah.
nice to be talking anime with you.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
we're covering a show Nick chose for us this time.
Yes.
Yeah.
We are. Oh, by the way, before I forget, we're also joined by Gav Leaf and Eric Carlson. Duh.
No, we don't
What?
matter.
Who?
We don't
I
care.
wasn't paying attention.
Yeah, we're just the also runs.
I forgot.
Oh, this is how I passed the test. Y'all forgot to write your names on the top. Okay.
I
cool.
mean, it wouldn't be the first time.
Yeah. I mean, I am also throwing my hat in the ring for the by-election against Nigel Farage. So, you know.
Just to date the episode.
So we're covering Kowloon Generic Romance, which came out somewhat recently, and
Looks like it came out in 1993.
the art style is very 90s anime.
Yeah,
Very.
it's super 90s OVA. It's
Yeah.
I kind of love it. If I'm not gonna if I'm not lying.
I believe it is based on a manga, correct? If I'm correct, Nick.
Yeah, the manga has been running from like 2019, ended just earlier this year, which is interesting because the anime that we watched ran last year. So
Yeah.
So they might not have had the ending quite right.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm not gonna read the manga. I'm terrible about that kind of shit. So
it's the last volumes are not available in English yet, but from what I was able to see, the broad strokes of it are in the ending of the anime.
Okay.
So presumably
Okay.
there was
So they
enough
worked with
communication
the-
of like, here's how it's going to end, that they were able to pull something off. But there are, a ton of like plot threads that didn't get, thrown in.
Okay.
To give just a very broad idea, at the very end when the characters reunite, some of them are in a flying car, which is definitely not in the anime.
No, it is not.
I mean, at least it didn't go like full Soul Eater original anime ending. So
I mean, at least it didn't go like majority of shonen shows where it just like spins around in filler until the story's complete.
I was thinking.
I wouldn't.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I wouldn't call this anything even remotely like shonen.
No.
Oh no,
not.
but no.
I don't think there's one laser beam fired at once in the entire show. I'm not even sure if a punch is thrown.
I mean, shonen's
No,
an
this
all
re-
battle, but
No, this is a seinen series. You can
Yeah.
tell by the amount of smoking that happens.
So much smoke.
Yeah, everyone
Yeah.
chain smokes here. Yeah, everyone smokes like it's the freaking like 60s on an airplane, which means all the time. Says a guy who was born in the 70s. So
Yeah.
clearly I know what I'm talking about.
absolutely. You watch Mad Men.
I mean, to be fair, I grew up in the working men's clubs of of Northern England in the 80s. There's a reason my sense of smell doesn't work.
Yeah.
So, what is Kowloon Generic Romance about?
Well, nominatively, at the very beginning, it is about a couple of office workers who work as realtors in the Kowloon walled city, which is an actual place that really existed in Hong Kong, that was originally like a fortress of some kind. And then a bunch of people just decided to move into it and lived there because it was kind of a lawless land. Uh, and it was like, the size of, a fairly decent sized military fortress that millions of people lived in. So people were just jam packed in there, piled on top of each other until like the late 80s or early 90s. It was forcefully evacuated by the Chinese government, and then, demolished. Uh, so that's kind of step one in this is a big, kind of nostalgia type series. It's referencing stuff of the 80s in terms of feel and aesthetic.
Yep.
Uh, but in any case, so there's a whole bunch of people that they're constantly trying to find like apartments and stuff for. And it's a kind of an office romance between our protagonist, Reiko, who's kind of a bit, withdrawn, a little bit shy. And then it's her lazy, a little bit older coworker named Kudo, who's, brash. He's kind of lazy. He's always showing up late to work, but you can't help but having a crush on him. And it starts off just seeming like, oh, it's, yeah, romance. And then there are all these hints that get dropped of like, oh no, there's some weird sci-fi bullshit going on here. And then that gradually becomes more and more what the series is about.
Yeah.
Developing the relationship between the two of them, sometimes in combination with this odd sci-fi plot that is going on.
The Yeah, and like stuff starts out like this is the second Kowloon walled city. Okay, what happened with the first? And like the Gene Terra project, and yeah, and eventually what Reiko realizes that there was another woman who worked there before her who looked exactly like her, and weirdness ensues.
Yeah. Yeah, this show is definitely one of those shows that wants to appear to be something that it's not, and then like let you in on the it'll let you in on the joke, not the joke. Sorry, it'll let you in on the story bit. That's it. Drip feed. That's the expression
Yeah.
I'm looking for. And drip feed the little hints and the clues until you're literally like, it's not so much telling you a story, it's letting you know there's a story there, and you're like, wait, what? What's going on? But why?
It's
Oh,
this show could so easily have crawled up its own ass and become another Ergo
yes.
proxy, and it manages not only not to do that, but actually make you give a shit about the characters, and none of them wear ridiculous eyeliner or fight androids. Um,
Is that normally why you care about characters?
Oh, yes.
generally, yes.
Okay.
Even more so
Further
if they are
referencing
the
Ergo
androids.
Proxy, a show that I really wanted to like but couldn't stand. um, but that's not this. I was
No.
just saying this could easily have crawled up its own ass the way that show did.
Yeah.
It's
Now I will say this is one of those kind of shows that we will have to go into spoilers pretty early as soon as we start talking about the characters themselves.
yeah.
Just because a lot of their development is tied to what's going on. So like before we get into spoilers, I would say I do recommend this. It's not my favorite show that we've covered. It is a very slow burn, and it's not to say I don't like intellectual shows because I like to think I'm smarter than I am. But
Don't we all?
but it is an interesting show. It is an interesting show. I
No,
would recommend.
Yeah, I would actually recommend this show. I actually rather enjoyed this show. Oftentimes the shows like these, they kind of crawl up their own ass, as I've said before, and take themselves more seriously than they warrant, and kind of yeah, and just sort of become sort of insufferably smug. This show never does that.
no, it does not.
The show manages to sort of, it never winks and nods at the audience. It just sort of like presents its characters and its
Yeah,
story as it goes along, and a lot of it is just the characters figuring shit out. Like,
it's
what
not.
is
It's not. It's not.
yeah,
Trying to trick you, but it's not telling you everything at the same time.
Yeah.
yeah. It does get a little heavy-handed with the imagery sometimes, like friggin' Snake Man there.
He turned
What
to be,
could
he
it
turned,
mean?
he turned to be a lot more
Yeah.
than he showed to be at first.
Yeah.
which was good. No,
Or the fucking goldfish and the whole thing with memory.
Yeah. I will also say,
And
yeah.
and I just want to say, I love the aesthetic and way this show is animated and everything, up until they show a fucking goldfish, because then it's like this beautifully rendered CGI thing that has no place in something that looks like it crawled out of a 90s
Yeah.
OVA bin.
It really, it is so
right out of the
it's so
moment.
disconcerting.
Yeah.
Would you say then that the CG in this series was not a great success?
I would.
So I will say I would definitely
The fish's name is Success.
Yeah, I would definitely recommend the show. Also, I very much liked it, and it also, for the type of show it is, it did two things that it shows like this sometimes do. It did not do the crawl up its own butt and become too smug for its own good, and it also did not run screaming in terror away from its own themes the way that Kato the Right Answer did.
Yes, that's another good example. They actually ran screaming into the arms of its own themes.
Yeah, no, it did it exactly right for
Yeah.
given there was only a 12-episode show.
I originally experienced this series as a manga because
Mhm.
Quinn and I covered it for Weekly Manga Recap about 2 years ago, somewhere around there, maybe 3 years ago. But then I heard that it was, it was getting an anime adaptation, and so whenever there's something for a series that I at least find interesting from a show that we've covered that gets an anime adaptation, I always, want to give that a little bit of a try. And this turned out to be a very good, digestible way of experiencing the story, especially for someone who, is in a territory where like the entire story is not available yet. This is, published through Shueisha, and so like it's getting published in English and stuff. But because it is in a seinen magazine, it's not like it wasn't like a huge priority to, simul publish all the chapters in English and stuff
Right.
the way that a lot of the bigger series are. So there's not really a lot of ways to actually like read the manga in full right now, unless you speak a different language. And so to have the anime and get to experience the full story and get to have an ending was very nice. And I think that it's not just executed well and not doesn't just like play off the way the story originally is in the manga well. There's also just a lot of like little touches to like about it. The way that it looks with the 80s aesthetic or the 90s aesthetic, whichever you want to call it. It comes off more convincingly when you see it in animation than when you see it on the page, because some stuff like screen tone and stuff like that plays a big role in how that feels. I think that the opening theme is a banger, and I find it very catchy and I like it. And I think that it also is just like very digestible. There are some parts of the manga because you're reading it instead of watching it, and it was a monthly series or a bi-monthly series, something like that, where it can feel a little bit heavy and kind of impenetrable. This is 12 volumes of manga that are just condensed into a 13 episode series, so it's more readily digestible because of that.
So what you're saying is, Nick, then that anime is better than manga.
I didn't say that. I said that this one is. I think that this is a great entry point, as with a lot of anime. I think this is a great entry point into the series, and if you are interested in more, well, in a couple months, the entire series will be available to purchase in English, and so you can check it out.
Yeah, with more of a deep dive, basically, into the
Right.
Yeah, the funny thing I've just realized as well, actually looking on the wiki here, not only did they decide to make an anime while the manga was still in production, they made a live action movie of this thing too at the same time.
Yeah, that apparently didn't turn out well. So
I am shocked.
A live action of an anime that didn't turn out well. What?
That doesn't happen.
The success rate of them, though.
There's like two that I can think of off the top of my head that are any good: Alita and One Piece.
Yeah, I'd say that's about right. I mean, I would extend that to all live action remakes of animated Power Rangers, which is in itself a cowardly cash grab and an abomination against an
Yeah,
entire
in case you're
art
wondering, Eric is not a fan of live action remakes of anime.
So Eric, did you see Moana? What did you think of it?
Okay,
I
can I-
thought no, I thought it was a tour de force.
just
truly
to
true
just
to
a
the original.
tangent, just a tangent off this for just 1 second. I want to say my piece on Moana. Okay,
Okay.
what the smeg is the point in doing a live action remake when the whole thing is on a green screen and the only live action things in there are the 2 primary actors?
Gav, what are
The
you
rest
talking
of it
about?
is just
Yeah.
as animated.
Gav, this way, The Rock gets to be Maui more.
It's
Don't
the
you
same
understand? No,
movie.
Gav, no, Gav. He got to be Maui more. He got to make another movie, Gav. Don't you want The Rock to keep on making movies? Come on, man.
Not
I mean,
particularly.
I think my biggest problem with the Moana remake is that the whole bit with the Martian tripods and the giant mecha fight, and
It's like
Godzilla just sort of shows up for a cameo. He's so
It's like
important
them.
in the original.
It's like them. It's like them going on about like the live action version of the Lion King.
Oh yeah, that was
Show
garbage.
me anything in that movie that's live action.
I mean, I'm pretty sure those rocks were actually filmed.
Anyway, that's my bugbear not worked out. So yeah,
Weirdly enough, The Jungle Book's one of the better examples of those, though.
I actually enjoyed that. I did it. Yeah.
All right.
So
we gonna
now that
spoil
we've
this?
gotten
We're
these
gonna,
sort
like,
of
put this-
bits of it,
take
so
this
that
out
if
of
you
the
do not
fridge?
want to be spoiled,
Yes, that was the
ranting.
fire break. Yeah.
we're now in the territory where spoilers may come up. We're not going to try. We're going to try not to spoil too much, but some will have. There will be some spoilers that will happen. If you want to avoid them completely, stop listening now. Go watch the show and then come back when you're done. When you're done.
Yes.
Good.
People definitely do that.
Oh, people absolutely do that all the time.
Yeah.
So we're good. Let's go. We can move on.
Yes.
All right.
All right. Reiko's dead. There,
Yeah.
just gonna put it out. Or rather,
I was gonna do an everybody's
Well,
dead Dave joke. They aren't all dead.
Asterisk.
asterisk. Like the Reiko we know is very much alive, but she is a copy of someone who died. And I gotta say the original was boring as fuck.
I was so glad because we watched this together. So this was my second time watching through this, and I just kind of like was remembering as we were watching, like, oh, the original Kujirai was kind of just a poser, boring person.
Oh
Yeah.
God, she was so lame.
She was such
She
a
was
fucking
such a
hipster.
poser. Oh my god.
I'm
Like-
not going to finish this book because I'm enjoying it too much and I don't want it to end. Get the fuck out! Like, you should say if I was working in that cafe and heard anyone say that, I would remove them physically.
I mean, I will also say, like, I'm not reading The Shepherd's Crown by Terry Pratchett until a very dark day, because that means I'm out of Terry Pratchett.
Aw.
Oh, that's relative though. That's
Yeah.
that's because you know what you're getting, not just
Hmm.
I don't want to know the ending.
Yeah.
Right.
Fuck off.
Terry Pratchett books are different from serial novels, which is
Yeah.
what she was like. I liked the first book, and then part 2 came out, and you know what? Not gonna read it because I don't want it to spoil my enjoyment of the first one. And it's like, look, I do know some people who are like, I'm not gonna see that because it'll ruin my enjoyment of the first one. And to you, I say, no, it won't. You're
Nope.
being in like 90% of occasions, 90 something. Like I think that that's a very pretentious way of going about stuff.
There's a good. There's. Sorry, go ahead.
There are sequels that, like, kind of, like, in the context of the original, kind of ruin the original. Like, looking at you, every Highlander sequel ever.
Or like the To Kill a Mockingbird sequel, where
Oy.
a lot of people didn't
Oy.
like the fact that like it basically destroyed the character of
Yeah.
Atticus Finch.
Yeah.
Oh, it shoots him in the head, basically. Not literally,
Like-
but like.
I mean, second season of Psycho Pass. Like, let's do the same thing again, but worse and dumber.
Some shows do not need. We've said it multiple times on this show. This show is fine. It's done. It does not need a sequel.
Yeah.
You know, unfortunately, the media machine being what it is, if it
Mhm.
makes money, it's going to get a sequel.
Yeah, and
Doesn't
you can
mean you
ignore
have to
sequel
watch it.
too late.
Yeah.
But like the the point being made here is that she was reading the beginning of a series of novels. It ended on like a cliffhanger kind of deal, and she's like, "Nah, I'm not going to read the other one." Don't you want to know
Yeah.
what happens? No, because I like the imagining what might happen. It's like that.
This is a really minor point, but really pissed us off.
Yeah.
I mean, the thing is, it's not. The reason it's annoying is this is not the only example of the sort of mindset she has.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's just a good.
Well-
it's a good way to illustrate exactly what we're talking about, who we're talking about here.
Now, all this does serve a point, which is that I mean, on the surface level, it is to demonstrate that there are differences between Reiko and the
Mhm.
person that she is a copy
Yes.
of.
Yeah.
Like that is the most basic level of it.
Yep.
So there are different things that they like eating. They have different attitudes towards stuff. Just because they both happen to be in love with Kudo, which before Reiko was, created, Kujirai B is what she ends up referring to her as. Kujirai and Kudo were engaged or were going to get married before
Yes.
she
Yeah.
died. Reiko independently has fallen in love with Kudo, and so of course that calls into question a lot of stuff of like, hey, are you even your own person? Do you have your own thoughts and emotions? Because she doesn't have her own memories because she was just, carbon copied off of somebody else. So is she only in love with Kudo because she's a copy of Reiko? Well, the fact that she has her own interests and her own habits and stuff like that eventually proves to her that she is her own person. And so,
Yep.
therefore, her love for Kudo is unique. And so, there is that. But also, it's important because those differences also show that one of the reasons what the Reiko is different from Kujirai is that Reiko is willing to open herself up to the future, whereas Kujirai was kind of obsessed with preserving the past
Oh, yeah.
and preserving nostalgia,
Yeah.
which is a huge thing in this entire series, is about memory, nostalgia,
Yep.
regret. And it is constantly gone back to not just in plot elements, but in terms of so many hit you over the head symbols. There is the aesthetic of the series being a big throwback. There's
Yep.
the fact that it is set in Kowloon, which is a thing that people just kind of remember at this point. There's the fact that Reiko gets a pet goldfish, which of course there's the myth about how goldfish have like 3-minute long memories. There's so many things like that that are regarding like, okay, memory and the past and all that stuff. And so of course if you're obsessed with the past, can you step forward into the future?
It's ironic, obviously, that Reiko has no memory, loses the memory,
She
and
has
is
no
no
past.
longer
Yeah.
weighed down by said past. So she looks forward. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Although there
fuck
is
you,
one,
Nick.
there is
Fuck
there
you
is
for being so good at wrapping up the themes like that. God damn it. Well
There
done.
I mean, it helps that I've experienced the story 3 times.
Right.
Like-
Exactly.
there is one caveat to it though that does that does kind of change, because she's not actually a carbon copy of Kujirai B. We find out towards the end that she's actually essentially a version of Reiko as seen from the mind's eye of Kudo.
Yeah.
Because spoiler, the whole thing is based on his memories.
Yep.
So everything's kind of tinted to what he saw, he did, and we see quite often in these flashbacks to his original relationship with Reiko that he didn't. If sorry, I've got my mother cell. Kujirai in his relationship with Kujirai B, what we see in Reiko, it kind of makes us realize that he didn't really know her very much at all. If what Reiko is now is what he thought she was versus what she actually was.
Well, he only
Yeah.
knew her for like a couple of months, I
Yeah.
think.
Something like
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
And
Engaged.
I mean, people do that all the time. Like, and there's a good point in that, like the Reiko B is sort of. I'm sorry, my thoughts just completely jumped out of the back of my head.
Need to close that flap.
Yes, and like you got Reiko B, which Kujo didn't really know as well as he thought he did, and he's aware of this. Like he knows he didn't know her very well. So the second Reiko is sort of more of a blank slate almost, and she's through her own like perceptions and experiences starts building up an entirely separate identity of who she, which is wholly unique from Rico B, and that speaks to a whole lot of things like, well, the whole nature versus nurture, how much do our experiences and memories shape us, and like if you just take two cop and crappies and drop them on different opposite sides of the earth and have them they experience things, a year later they're going to be entirely different people.
The thing is, he also does realize this though, because towards the beginning, he's actually pretty cold with Reiko, the
Yeah.
new one, because he realizes that the person that he's created is not the one that he was originally in love with.
Yeah, it should be noted he did not actually
Consciously create.
consciously create any of this. It's all done by some like weird techno babbly thing called the Gene Terra, which is for a lot of techno babble and a lot of science
It was
fiction.
It was a pharmaceutical company's plan to be able to base. It's one of those immortality things. It saves
Yeah.
the memories of the people in the program and gives them some form of digitized immortality. Is the plan essentially trying to create fake body? No, trying to create artificial bodies to house memories, to house consciousness. This is a whole subplot with another character.
Which
And
all of which is honestly just window dressing that to help explain away the whole existence of of the second Kowloon and what's going on.
Oh, the third Kowloon. Third
well,
Kowloon.
yeah.
Because it's the explanations they give would make a Voyager, a Star Trek Voyager technobabble writer blush in embarrassment. Because it's just none of it holds water. I think they used the word quantum 5 times in one sentence at one point, but that's fine. That is the nitpickiest of nitpicks.
Yeah.
Because there's the whole mystery of what's going on with the third Kowloon walled city. Why are only some people capable of perceiving it? Why are there are all these people in there that we know also exist outside of it, and why do the originals, the people inside the city, disappear when you bring the original inside of it? Like, and because that's the thing, like only certain people can perceive the city, like, and for the longest time they can't figure out the rhyme and reason of it, because there's one guy that really wants to go to this city but can't see anything but ruins. Meanwhile, his boss literally like lives there and commutes there all the time, while he tries to figure out what's going on. And yeah, so there's this whole mystery, and it takes them forever to figure out. They're like, oh, it's the idea of regret that relating to the Kowloon walled city that is what generates it. But it's people perceive and interact with it, and that's kind of really interesting in a way.
Oh yeah.
'Cause it speaks a lot about the attitudes and belief systems of everyone in there that's not themselves a copy. Of
Well,
which
yeah,
we
'cause
have, yeah, of which we have Reiko's best friend, who came to the city recently. We've got Snake Man, we've got Gale, um, and we've got Cujo himself. And from what I can tell, those are the four people that actually live inside the city and interact on a daily basis that were not created by that are not creations or generics as they get called in the series.
But
Yeah.
it is interesting though, because I mean, we meet sorry, I'm awful with names. Yao Mei, the young woman who befriends Reiko, and she just like she says she just came to. Sorry, I'm being really ignorant. Where is Kowloon? Is it Hong Kong?
It's Hong Kong, yeah.
Yeah.
Hong Kong.
Yeah.
Basically
She,
near,
she came.
basically
She
near
came.
that.
Yeah, she came to Hong Kong to escape her past life, and then saw this city, nearby, so to speak. Had a look around, found it was kind of cool, moved in, and started living there. Now, she didn't have any specific regrets in relation to Kowloon itself, but she was carrying a lot of regret and self-worth issues and all that kind of stuff. And it kind of turns this idea of this city and this perception of the city as living with regret and not being able to get out from underneath it, because this, as we see at the end, when they do finally accept themselves and move on, they can no longer perceive the city.
Yeah, it just becomes-
It's living in their own prison of self-imposed regret and not dealing with it and just running and hiding.
It's a very purgatory kind of situation.
Yeah.
Certainly.
yes.
Especially when we find out that there's actually a time loop going on as well, because of course there is.
Well, yeah, because you can't have a nostalgic summer if it's ever not summer. So
Right.
it's
Yeah,
just
It is,
constantly
it is
the
always
same-
the
same
summer
2
of
months.
1997 or whatever year it is.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's a 3-month period that ends each time on the day that Reiko Kujiro B originally died, and then goes back and starts again. And that's revealed as the reason as to why Reiko starts to develop her personality, because she's gone through this loop multiple times. She can't remember anything from before the loops, but she retains enough when the loop restarts that basically it's a continuous existence as far as she's concerned.
Right. She doesn't factory reset. I
Yeah.
don't think it's ever necessarily actually explained.
It's just
if-
like the date, and it's like, oh, it's July the 31st. No, it's not. It's April the 1st. Oh,
Right.
okay, cool.
I don't know if it's ever actually stated if like they literally do go through the same events, like if everyone else besides Reiko is on kind of a set pattern where they do the same things over and over
There
again.
are certain things, because I mean, we one of the first things that we hear, like they work for a letting agency, a real estate, and they keep mentioning about this property that's always coming open, and they do say like, man, didn't we find something, somebody for this place like 3 months ago, and it's on the market again already?
Yeah.
There are certain things that loop, but the consciousness, so to speak, isn't. But they just kind of don't notice. Yeah.
Yeah, because who cares what the actual date is? Like,
Yeah.
tomorrow I have to go and get my groceries again. Like,
Yeah.
honestly, like I could easily see myself just not perceiving that things that sort of time loop, because it's 3 months long, and quite frankly, I never planned for more than 2 weeks ahead of time, because that's imaginary. The future is not real.
Frankly, the only reason I keep track of the date is so I know when payday is.
Yeah, exactly. Even then, I get paid weekly, so I don't even need to really keep track of the date. Well, for rent, but
Yeah.
so yeah, I could easily see people just not even realizing that they've been there for 3 years and the season hasn't changed. That's what happened with Yao Mei. Like, she'd been there for years and just hadn't noticed
Yep.
that anything was wacky, because it's just
Too much other
It's
shit to
just
pay
another
attention
day.
to.
Yeah.
Well, apparently as well, there is something that actually literally physically affects you.
Mm.
Because when you eat the food,
That's
in
yes. You're right. You're right.
Kowloon,
You're right.
it causes you to just kind of overlook the weird things about Kowloon. And
Mm.
then literally just eating outside real food causes that to immediately dissipate. So it kind of puts you under this sort of
Right.
veil when
Yeah,
you're
they
eating
never-
the food there.
Yeah, it's like eating food in the fairylands. I completely forgot about that. Like, I made a note of that when we were watching it. I completely
Yeah.
forgot about it.
they never really go into the mechanics of how this illusion
yeah.
works. Like it's like, is it illusionary? Is it physically real? Yes and no. There's food that people can subsist on, but some of them don't need to, but some do. If
And honestly, a lot of that
you're-
stuff it doesn't need to be explained, and frankly,
Yeah.
it works better that it's not explained.
Yes. I
yeah,
agree.
but
Because
my
that lends to the sort of surreality of the
My-
entire situation.
my only issue with it, just
Is
from
that a
a
word? Surreality?
Surrealism.
Thank you.
my only issue with it is if it's a perception thing. That's fine. But when you see, like, from somebody who can't see the city and there's nothing but a huge pile of rubble, like, that person who can see the city, which fucking doorway did he just walk through?
Yeah.
Because, I mean, okay. Like, there's got to be a physical difference between what we see and what they experience, and that bugs me. That's like holodeck situation, you know. It's like
Well,
this is a 10 by 10 room. They ain't going miles.
again, that sort of lends into the whole like weird dream logic of the whole place.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean there's definitely some level of substance to what is there due to
People
how
can
the show
climb up.
ends.
People can
Yeah.
climb up stories of demolished buildings
Yeah.
and such.
Yeah.
So there
There-
is
there's
definitely
substance.
like right.
And like the food is food.
They can actually survive eating the holographic or whatever food that is there.
Apparently,
So there's definite substance to it, and Eric's right. It
But, like-
really does have sort of a Fey element to it.
yeah.
Yeah.
Because I mean, we see at the end, like, when they visit Reiko's apartment at the end. Like, it's literally blown out. Like,
Yep.
there's
Yeah.
you can walk in and stand there, but the balcony that we always see her on, the bed, isn't there. Like, if you think about it that logically, at some point she has been stood floating in midair.
Yeah, so
If
obviously that day that that she and Kudo sleep together while they're in the middle of it, a bird probably flew in and pooped on them and then left, and they just didn't see it. So
I mean, I kind of got the impression that was kind of their whole thing.
what,
Aw.
birds pooping on them?
Yeah, I mean, we don't kink shame here.
Okay, gotcha. I'm just surprised that you pegged them off of what interactions we saw
to,
from
to,
them.
be, to be fair, we do. We've watched Killing Bites, but you know.
Hey, Faye. No, we king shame that show.
Yeah.
That show deserves all the shame because it's terrible.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
But yes, it's one of those shows where don't think too hard. Just go by what it's presenting to you.
Oh no, think too hard. The show wants you to think. The show begs you to think.
About well, yeah,
But
about
it's
certain.
more like
yeah.
more like Twin Peaks than
Yes.
Hmm.
Knives Out.
Sure.
I mean, yeah, sometimes it's more kind of a situation of like magical realism.
Yeah.
I would say than anything
Yeah,
else.
don't think about
where-
the science of the show.
Yeah, don't think
Yes.
about having the exact answers because you are never going to get them, but because your reality is thrown off by what that allows for the story, then it allows you to experience certain things that you wouldn't be able to if you had like a hard science that were followed by certain things.
Yeah.
You know, there's a book that I had to read for in high school called Pedro Paramo, which is this, you know, Latin American novel, magical realism, full of magical realism, which is about a guy who goes on a journey to, you know, find out about his father. And the twist is that everyone is dead. Everyone's dead. Everyone he meets is dead. He's dead. So, like, it's, and you may be asking, it's like, well, how is that possible then? It's like, just think about the themes and what the emotions tell you and
Yeah.
stuff. Don't worry about like don't get out a timeline and stuff and say like, well, this is the point he died. Because if you're focused on that kind of stuff, then it's like, you know, it might be kind of interesting, but if you're interested in that minutiae, you are probably overlooking the actual meaning of the story,
Yeah.
which in this case is, you know, this is about, you know, identity and like how much you can live your life when you are bound by certain things that you do to yourself. It's just that Kowloon kind of enables those things to take a physical manifestation for them to kind of trick themselves into being content with staying put with where they are. So it's not just Kudo, who is obviously the biggest victim and perpetrator of all of that. It's everyone who is within Kowloon. That's why there's all this self-actualization that happens to people that once they are able to leave the city, is that they are able to move on with their lives and grow as people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, like I say, the everything that I just brought up there, that's the Nick hit on the nail on the head there. I am the hard science like stickler. I cannot watch Ant-Man without getting unreasonably angry because they try to explain the science
He's
and then
smaller than atoms, Gav. What don't you get about this?
No, because they specifically said we do not shrink you. We reduce the space between your atoms.
Oh, but
On
he's
that-
smaller than those
On
atoms.
that explanation, subatomic is impossible.
Yeah, so that's why he gets to go quantum. Correct.
Also,
All right. So
his little bag of cars should weigh 30 tons.
also, Yami is the best character in this series. And,
Yame's great. She is a delight.
Young is great and can in fact carry around Ant-Man's bag of cars.
Yeah,
Um,
I would trust her to do that.
Oh, she's great.
No, she is unquestionably like one of the best people in the show. Like,
Yeah,
Yeah.
she is absolutely a golden retriever, and
oh, 100%.
and will square up to anyone and anything that dares look at Reiko the wrong way.
Right. She's she's a golden retriever who turns into a German shepherd whenever the situation calls for it. Yes.
Exactly. Yes.
Yeah.
Honestly, I'd say she's more like a Rottweiler because the Rottweiler squares up to you and you're really friendly with him. He's just going to fall in love with you. So that's what Yamai does all the time.
So Yame and Reiko really just kind of meet by circumstance. Yame is this seamstress who lives in one of the apartments, and then one of the other supporting characters in the series, like, makes a noise complaint. Is like, there's something going on in there. Reiko goes and meets her, and they just randomly strike up a friendship. And so Yame kind of becomes the person that Reiko most confides in as she's going through this self-identity crisis of who am I? I found this picture of this woman who looks just like me, and apparently she was part of Kudo's past. What is all this? And then the deeper and deeper they go into it, Yame is with her pretty much every step of the way and is always on Reiko's side,
Yep.
no matter what is going on.
Yeah. The other thing I really like about their friendship is they are there for each other.
Yeah.
Like, Reiko pulls Yame out of a deep dark hole at one point.
Yeah.
There's a bit where she starts having a big crisis because of the reason that she has regrets and is in Kowloon, which is the fact that she is the daughter of this famous movie star who kind of just wanted her to be a mini-me, basically. Like, everything, I know the best. And so Yame kind of went along with that for a long part of her life.
It was very psychologically abusive relationship with her mother. Like,
right.
Yeah.
And Yame kind of just like was going along with it because she's like, well, yeah, I guess like everyone says how great my mom is and how beautiful she is and how, smart she is. So I guess she must be right about everything. And then finally she couldn't take it anymore. And she was like, I want to be able to I want to be able to wear the things that I think are cute and stuff. And so she like completely changed her appearance. She had like a lot of plastic surgery done. She now has blonde hair instead of black. She looks entirely different. But when she's falling into this hole, she starts looking like her old self, which is one of the in the middle of the series parts where that makes you go, wait, what is this? All this, reality affecting stuff that's going on.
yep.
Because we're told afterwards it wasn't just her like, hallucinating because she was in a deep psychological state. It apparently was like actually physically manifesting
Yep.
with her.
They're very keen in the show to try and again keep you guessing as to what's actually going on. So like, even the whole thing when we start talking about the generics, it's like they're not technically clones, they're not technically holograms, they're not technically any like science fiction trope that you can think of. They're their own thing. And again, the way that this thing affects Yao Mei, again, it's not bending reality. It's not changing her mind. It's this whole, like you say, magical science kind of situation that's just like her own inner view, and this applies to a lot of things. Her own inner view affects, her reality.
Yep.
Yeah, and
Again,
I think
this falls into the whole like dreamlike state of Kowloon because like that everything works on dream logic there.
Yeah.
so of course, like I think it's one of the most powerful parts of the series is it's not even like that long because
No.
she's only really, in that funk for about half the episode. And then Reiko
It's
comes
a
to her, she
sweet
just
plot,
realizes
Yeah.
Reiko just comes to her, she realizes her friend is in trouble and wants help, and she just, kind of like just calls to her through the door. and isn't even like that obtrusive. She's just like, I just feel like you need, help right now, and I'm here for you. And she brings up like, something that Yama had reassured her before about like being your true genuine self. And she starts to say like, I guess, if you're not really sure about that, and Yama's like, no, of course not. And because her friend is there, she snaps out of it and comes out and gives her a big ass hug. And then it's very sweet and emotional. And the fact that Yame is there to be this kind of dumb person, but in a very supportive and very hardworking and very genuine way, while there's all this sci-fi bullshit going on, really does help to provide this positive driving force through stuff.
Yeah.
And honestly,
Yeah.
although there are some smart science head tech people in this, like Happy Numa from the pharmaceutical, who is like the main
Yep.
one who does this. There's a couple of people who work for him who are really intelligent and know the secrets of Kowloon to some degree or another. Almost everyone who's in this is just a regular ass person.
Yep.
And
Mhm.
I think that helps with the delivery of this sci-fi plot in terms of especially what you guys were talking about of it doesn't crawl up its own ass,
Yeah.
because that could be a huge trap to have a quote unquote very smart person explaining at length how everything works.
Yep.
And because these are regular people who don't know how this stuff works, they're just trying to figure it out.
Mhm.
That is a much easier story to follow, because you the reader can be smarter than them, and if you're not, it doesn't make you feel stupid for no reason.
Yeah, I think that's the big thing, because even Reiko, she's trying to figure it out. At no point are we like, oh my god, you're so dense. Like
Yeah.
it's not like the character themselves are not being like some shows will like reveal the plot to the audience and the characters are still in the dark, and it's what people do. It's like as soon as the plot's revealed, you're like, oh, it's so obvious. Of course, why don't you get this? Why aren't you getting this?
Yeah,
Sure,
This
sure.
this
and
is you know
yeah, and that's one of the things I like about this show is everything. We have exactly the same amount of information as everyone else in
yes.
the show, and we
Also,
are discovering it with them.
Also, they don't make as what Nick just mentioned there about Yao Mei being the dumb one. She's not dumb as such. She's just a little. She's a little bit ditzy. She's sheltered, just because of her previous life. So she's not particularly book smart. But I would say she's probably the most emotionally intelligent person in the show.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Like she's not going to sit there and be the one that you can explain the technical details of what's going on. But if you want to sit down, have a chat with a cup of tea, she's there. We'll see what we can do, get things sorted out.
Yeah, and
And
she's gonna
and
help you through whatever like bullshit you're going through.
yeah,
Just don't
but there's
ask her to
no
solve quantum mechanics for you.
exactly yeah, but it's realistic. It's not like I said. It's she's functionally intelligent. She's not book smart. So it's like she's a real world functional person. She's not
Yeah.
she's not Gowry.
And of course, there is also another issue, not just in terms of like the trap of like a sci-fi series, but there's also the trap that comes with a lot of slow burn romances, which is why don't these two people get together? What delays and stuff like that? And a lot of times it's a matter of, well, one is just kind of angsting to
Yeah.
themselves and doesn't want to take the actions that would get them to what they want because they're afraid that they're just going to fuck everything up. And Yame being close to Reiko helps her to overcome those hurdles quite a number of
Yep.
times. Not just in terms of specifically when it comes to Kudo, but also like in terms of how she feels about herself, and helps to give her the perspective necessary for her to take those steps forward to becoming her own person. There's a big thing that they keep on, that the two of them especially keep bringing up, which is I want to become my true self. Uh,
Mm.
which is basically like I want to manifest the best version of myself and I want to believe that I can do that. And you can't really do that if you're, going around like, oh, I'm just a copy. This is not all real and stuff. And if it does, do my feelings for Kudo actually exist and stuff? And yes, of course, that is great to have in the series. It would feel empty without having that, to not have any sense of your problems, but to have another character there to balance that out and say, hey, there is, yes, a real possibility that there is something here, but that also should matter in terms of what you do in the moment. So you, the character in the present of this story, take actions and keep moving the plot forward so that things don't get boring.
Yep.
Yes, well put. And yeah, and I'm also gonna say there's a good reason for them to sort of hem and haw over will they, won't they? Because one's trying to figure out her actual identity. Does she actually exist as an independent being? The other one's staring at a carbon copy of his dead fiance and trying to like deal with that. Like, there are good reasons for them to question how things were working. Like,
The more you learn about Kudo, the more sympathetic a character he becomes.
Oh yeah.
yeah,
Because of how tragic that realization is.
yeah,
Because at first it seems like, oh, this guy's just kind of a jerk to Reiko. What is like he's kind of a bad boy. He's no good for her. Then you find out like, oh, there's this secret that he knows and stuff. And then the more you think about it, the more you realize he was in love with this person whose face he sees every day, even though she is dead.
Yeah.
yeah,
Like,
Yeah, and it's not just that she died either. Like the method, why, how she died matters a lot in this too.
Jesus Christ,
Like, fuck, man.
Christ, I hate Reiko B. Like, what a I'm gonna take this like drug that was pulled off the market that's supposed to help me like with my shit, but it kills people a lot of the time. And if I die, oh well. It's like fuck you.
which is again just like very on the head of like this is the theme of the series. Like if you just have this attitude of like, well, then I live my life and that's just kind of it, then it's like, all right, well, you're not going to, if you don't care that if you have too much more of your life, then how much does it actually matter to you?
Yeah.
And maybe you're not going to make that life happen then if you have that
Yeah,
attitude.
As well
She
as how
could
much
very
life
well she
goes
could
down.
very well have just taken the attitude of like, you know, I'm going to believe that, Kudo and I can have a life together and stuff. And she fucking was like, oh, if it happens, it happens.
yeah,
Yeah, like legit, like Jesus, poor like Kudo deserved so much better than that. Like Jesus
yeah.
Christ.
She was real bad for Kudo. I'm glad Reiko A is evolves into a better person.
Yeah.
Both for herself and for him. Um
It's like
because yeah,
he's stuck in this. It's not just regret with him. It's massive guilt as well.
Oh yeah.
yeah,
He asked for none of it, but he obviously just can't walk away from it. Yeah. So I mean, this is the
yeah.
prison that he's in.
Yeah, and the whole point of the second Kowloon is like it's it is his own purgatory, and it's basically just one really long, really surreal therapy session for the poor dude. Um, I don't know, and it's never explained why the Gene Terra project chose him and his issues to help him deal with and his memories of everything, but it did. And it and it finally like unmakes itself once he deals with his drama, or not
Well,
drama,
it's more
trauma.
that it's more that he starts to become more self-aware that he's directly in control of it all, because we start to see little bits. So, like,
Yeah,
for example, there's a couple of side characters. One is a former friend. He works as a barman in one of the bars, and we get early on find out a little bit of backstory that he liked to look after the local stray cats. He put a little shelter out the back of the bar that he worked to tray of milk, blah blah blah. And when he came back to Kowloon, he looked around and it wasn't there. Says, "Well, this is strange. The recreation's not 100% authentic. That's because that was definitely there when I left." And then later on in the series, he has a conversation and he just in passing mentions this to Kudo. And wouldn't you know it, the second he goes out the back, now Kudo knows that information. The shelter's there,
mm.
which starts the gears working. There's another character that we've seen, a
Oh
young
right,
a young girl, Zhao Hei, who's quite often running around, is another tenant that Kudo looks after. Um, I'm not sure what her actual role is, but you know, She's the stereotypical young girl, just does nothing, like just buys huge, massive like Victorian style dress.
Yeah, she works a lot of different odd jobs across Kowloon.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, and she's constantly running around town. We see her in the background every now and again. A little bit later on, we're introduced to another character, a young man named Zhao Hei, who is infiltrating Kowloon to see what's going on. And we get told quite quickly that actually this young man and the young girl are one and the same. He was always a boy, but as a youth, in his younger days, he preferred to dress as a girl and present as a girl. And the trick is that they realize that, well, hang on, if that's the case, how are you here and young Zhao Hei is also here? And it turns out that it wasn't until Kudo is told that, oh, no, Zhao Hei is a boy. Really? Yeah, the other guy? Yeah, that's the same person. The young one disappears in that instant. Because
And
his
that's when
knowledge
it
is now
finally
mutated.
that's when everyone finally puts it all together of like, oh, this is all based on him specifically. His
Yeah.
perception
It's not.
of it
It's not even.
informing
It's not even
Polly.
such of his memories. It's his active knowledge.
Yeah.
Which is a
I mean-
very interesting way of going about, the LGBTQ representation in this series is actually just kind of just very like present
Yes.
and
Yeah.
not like it's not made a huge
It's very
deal
normal,
of.
as it should be.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, right,
Very
absolutely.
normalized.
Matter of fact,
Uh,
like there's Gale and Snake Man, whose name I can never remember.
Gwen and Heavy Numa.
Gwen, not Gale.
Orochimaru.
Yeah.
No,
Don't compare him to Orochimaru, please.
he's a much better
one-
character.
One, he's
Yeah.
in a much better show.
Yeah.
Because they're very much a gay couple, and it's just like it's no big deals made out of it. They are treated like any other couple that you would see in a show like this.
Yep.
They
And
have
Heavy
their own
Numa's
drama.
Heavy
They
Numa's
split up
intersex,
for a
if I
little
remember
bit.
correctly.
Yes.
Heavy Numa is a type of intersex, and it apparently has to do with his whole fucked up past with his family.
Yep.
Yeah.
But it is kind of hinted that the fact that he's together with Gwen is maybe a little bit of gives him a little bit of trouble back home.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
mostly
he's
because
heir
his
to
dad's
a-
a dick than anything.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, his dad is
He's-
terrible.
He's heir to a big
And-
family business. With
Yeah.
traditional
And
blah, blah, blah.
Snake Man, I'm never gonna remember his name.
Heavy Numa.
Heavy Nuba. It very much presents as male. He was very much glammed up, but he presents male.
He presents as Snake too.
Yeah, he very much presents
Yeah.
as Snake. Like he's even got like the split tongue going on. Like
there's a lot of symbols that you can draw into
Yeah.
snakes. You know, the forbidden knowledge. There's the
treacherous nature.
weird sex organs. So. But he really goes off way
He goes-
far
he
with
goes all
like
in.
I am Snake Guy. So he's got the forked tongue, he's got the snake slit eyes, he's got snakes on the arms of his glasses, he's got snakes like snakeskin leather shoes,
Yep.
An expensive tattoo.
and a snake tattoo that goes all the way across him that looks absolutely silly in the original manga because of how it's drawn going across his butt cheeks, which they don't include that detail in the anime.
Probably for the best.
Yeah, it just looks kind of. It's not even like it's like, oh, that's gross. It's like when you think about it, because the coils of the snake go across the cracks and they kind of go seamlessly across the crack, and it's like, okay, but when that was drawn, does that mean that you were taught in that exact position while it was being put on you?
My memories. I mean, I know I'm in my 40s now, but Christ, did we watch the dub or the sub?
We watched the sub.
We watched the sub.
Right, I thought so. Yeah, I was just looking through the wiki as I often do while we do these. I've actually just realised that Hebinima actually in Japanese was voiced by a male actor, and in English is actually voiced by a female actor.
That's cool.
That's interesting. Yeah.
Hmm.
Oh,
That is
Yeah,
genuinely
there's
interesting.
Gwen. There's Zhenhao,
Zhao Hei.
Zhao
Zhao
Hei. There's Zhao Hei, who very much comes across as pre-transition trans femme, because
Yeah.
they very much want to like dress in pretty dresses and everything, but at their older selves, but their older self is 6 feet tall and broad-shouldered.
Yeah. There's a very sweet subplot with Zhao Hei in terms of just getting encouragement from their younger self too, to just like
Yeah.
embrace like the cutesy fashion and stuff. And so like Zhao Hei like agrees to like get his vest to have all these, these like frills put on it and stuff. So when Zhao Hei like leaves Kowloon, the he tries to take the dresses along, but because they're, part of Kowloon, they're not real, so they start to fade away. But the little frills that he got on his vest, they stay behind.
Which is really
Uh,
neat.
Yeah,
yeah, there's just like
because what's her name put them in there with stuff she brought in from outside of Kowloon. Um, uh,
Maybe.
Yao
Golden
Mei.
Retriever.
Yame,
Why can't Yao Mei? Thank you.
Yame.
Because because Yao Mei does just a lot of odd jobs, including a lot of tailoring and stuff, and she's always like looking for deals. So she brought in a bunch of fabric from out of Kowloon and just happened to use out of Kowloon materials to gussy up his vest.
Also, they're very nice to him for a guy who was sent there to kill Reiko. By
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
way.
Well, there's also the fact that like he gets told, okay, now you can kill her. He's like, do we really want to do that? We've pretty well established that the generics are in fact independent sapient beings with like they're people. We've established they're
Yeah.
people and unique people.
It is kind of funny the number of times though people are saying, I'm here to kill you, and the response is, how do you feel about
Yeah.
that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I really liked Zhao Hei's plot in this. I do think because I like Heavy Numa and Gwen, and I appreciate that they have kind of their own star-crossed romance
Yep.
going on at the exact same time that there's all this stuff going on between Reiko and Kudo. Uh, and I like that gender plays a little bit of a role in it, but not a big one. It's
Mm.
much more
It-
focused on class
yeah.
differences.
It's more
Um,
political different, yeah.
right. And I like that, the antagonists for a big stretch of the story get to have that kind of dynamic going on. However, I do think that probably some stuff with them was cut a bit short, just in terms of where stuff is positioned in terms of where the plot runs. You
Sure.
start to, I would say, about 10, 11 episodes into the series. Suddenly things start to feel like they're moving more quickly than they were before
The plot accelerator.
as you approach the end. And I don't know this for sure, but it feels like there was a point where it's like, okay, we're kind of out of manga to adapt. So we
Yep.
just kind of have to shift into this is what the author of the series told us was the end, and we have to move towards that.
We are
There are
familiar with the plot accelerator button.
so there
Yeah.
are subplots that probably get dropped and wrapped up pretty quickly.
Mhm.
For example, Heavy Numa's whole plot, his entire
Yeah.
reason for his whole reason for being into Jane Terra and trying to figure out how this whole thing works is because he was raised by his father to be a replacement for his father's legitimate son who
Yeah,
died
he was
young.
adopted. Yeah.
So there's another example of like he is also a weird sort of carbon copy
Yep.
in a different form than Reiko is, and in a different form than all these these generics are and stuff.
Yeah.
So
I think the thing I like about like I understand what you mean about saying it was a little bit rushed because it did feel a little bit incomplete. But I kind of actually liked that about the conclusion of his story because of his thing. Because the whole thing is he's based on revenge. So it's revealed that the father is the head of the pharmaceutical company that's responsible for all of this, the whole gene terror thing. And what he's basically trying to do is trying to recreate his son. Um, he's trying to use this system to build a generic of his son to replace him, the one he lost. And Hebonima's his plan is basically to succeed, but then deny him. Like it's like cool. I'm gonna make it so that there is a copy of your son alive, but you can't see Kowloon, so you can never see him. It's like petty, not petty, but it's like it's really sort of like toxic revenge kind of situation where it's like
it is a very spiteful
spiteful.
plan.
That's the word I'm looking for.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's such spite and venom and like he's so focused. He's so focused on getting this revenge that by the end of the show, we then find out that well, actually, the guy, the reason he keeps calling you by the son's name isn't because he is disrespecting you. It's because he has dementia. And he genuinely thinks you're his son. You've been so focused on revenge, you haven't seen this change in him. He's literally on the end of things. He's going to go into palliative care. You need to sort out his affairs. And all of that revenge and spite just becomes so fucking pointless.
Well, he can't get his revenge because the guy
The
couldn't
guy who
tell
did
the
it.
difference.
Yeah. And I mean, I get it because I mean, hell, mine. I've got my nan, as we call it, my mum's mum. I have an uncle called David. It's almost like a catchphrase at the moment. She'll say, "Can you grab me that, please, David, Gavin?" All the time. She calls me by like 3 different names until she gets to me. It happens. The way the mind works is ridiculous. But like I just liked how this like I said this I guess what I'm trying to get at is the how pointless revenge is.
Yeah.
Like he was so focused on the planning of it and the getting of it, he didn't realize that he didn't need it.
Yeah.
It was
And once
it was
again,
yeah.
it is positioning someone who is obsessed with the past and doing something in the service of the past versus someone who was kind of forced to let the past go because that
Mhm.
is, what dementia does.
And the
And
second he
so
lets go, of that revenge,
yeah,
you know,
he just stops being an antagonist. 'Cause it's like, well, what is he gonna do? Like he's got no reason to carry out his villain plan anymore. And instead he's just a character in Kowloon like the rest of the cast
Yep.
and is trying to, figure out what to do with that situation.
Well, fuck. My revenge is utterly and completely pointless. What the fuck now?
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh,
It is my vengeance is now completely empty. Like there's yeah. My vengeance is turned to ash. There's no point in it any further. I can't hurt the man who hurt me.
you'd probably make a really good Dread Pirate Roberts. Uh,
So eventually everything is found out and things start to kind of dissolve because everything is found out, basically.
Yeah.
Which of course is a problem because most of our cast, Gwen, Yao Mei, Zhao He, uh, Baby Numa, all these are people that can just leave Kowloon and they'll be fine. Obviously, there will be a matter of like, oh well, I've been living in this fake city, so I don't actually have any of the money that I earned here, which is a situation that Yao Mei runs into at one point.
Mhm.
Uh, but they are able to leave. But Reiko is a construction of the Gene Terra. So is it okay for her to leave? And there is a great fear that, like, especially because all these other, copies of people, they just disappear, bamf. if their real copy comes in. So Reiko is presumably only really here because she's a copy of a dead person and therefore, doesn't have that happen. But can she leave the bounds of the city? So the thing's got to keep on running or else she's going to die. Well, the thing's all collapsing. So fortunately, she gets to go on a huge ass vision quest at the end. Gets to see, like the truth of what happened with everyone. And then, of course, through the power of love and self-actualization and stuff, she survives the destruction of Kowloon and gets to leave its bounds and reunite with her friends. But you know what makes this a really happy ending? Her fucking fish does too. Hell yeah!
She survives. Yep.
Her fish becomes her animal guide through all of this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which
What's
is
its
actually really
name? Is
cool,
it
honestly.
Is it like
Success.
Success. Or,
Yes,
something
that's
like
why I
that,
said it. That's why I asked if Eric thought it was the CG in the series was a
Oh,
success.
of course. Yeah.
I forgot the name of the fish, actually.
I got it, but
You just
Okay.
hated me. Yeah.
because I hate that fish. Like the idea of the fish is cool. Just fucking just animate it like with like everything else. Don't call attention to what you did the way you did. Like Jesus Christ.
It's like how they go
Anyway.
to such lengths to animate it as if it was like a show from the 90s or whatever, and then it's just this CGI fish.
Yeah. So anyway, we are starting to go late. So
But yeah, that's basically the end of the
Yeah.
show. I mean,
Yeah.
like, they make it. They realize. Cujo realizes. It comes to terms with things. Reiko turns out it can survive outside of Kowloon, and the city goes away, and everybody lives happily ever after.
Yeah, it kind of is
Kinda.
like the credits are like running while the resolution is happening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You do however see there is like an epilogue that happens that shows that Reiko is like a successful like she apparently like has a higher position at a new like travel agency
Yeah,
now.
she's not doing the travel agency stuff. That's right. Yeah.
And she apparently is doing what she and Yame are apparently doing well enough that they get to like just make a reservation at this really fancy restaurant together.
Yeah.
But Yame doesn't make it before Kudo shows up, and apparently he's finally gotten a chance to like work some things out. So there's a chance, there's this possibility set up that like, okay, maybe now like there's a chance for these two to actually like get together and have a proper relationship
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
That it's not built on troublesome memories and lies.
Yep.
Basically,
I mean, that's the thing that they explain. Yao Mei's stood up to her mother and said, "Look, I'm my own person." Kind of gone halfway back into that world without being subsumed by her parent. The pharmaceutical company is dissolved.
Yep, there's a real mystery going on there. Like, it's just
Like,
Yeah,
wait, what?
we just
Heavy
see,
Numa's gone. It's
we
like,
just
what?
see a ticker in the news. Heavy Numa's gone. The entire company's been dissolved. All right.
I mean,
Yeah.
he and Gwen probably retired to the mountains somewhere,
And
honestly.
you know what? Good for
though.
them.
Yeah.
Reiko apparently read that second book.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because of course she did.
Right, exactly.
she's an interesting person and not just a collection of annoying traits.
The fun thing as well that I realized in both the anime and the in the dub and the sub, the two versions of Kujurai are voiced by different actresses.
Different people, yes. So
Yeah.
there's a very different kind of feel between the characters as a result of
Yep.
that.
Yeah.
In Japanese, she's voiced by Nika Robin. Kujurai B is.
Huh.
Yes, she
Huh.
is. And in English, it's Amber Lee Connors.
Well, I guess we move on to final thoughts and we'll wrap things up, huh?
Yeah.
All right. Well, why don't we I'll start, then Eric, then Gavin. Nick, you get the final word since it was your choice and you're the guest.
Okay. Yeah.
So, as you can probably all guess, I very much enjoyed the show. It is very much an up my alley style show. I love this type of philosophical science fiction. And I'm very happy that it stayed that the whole time through. Like it didn't crawl up its own ass and become pretentious tat, and it also didn't turn itself into a shonen battle show for the last few episodes. So win.
Damn you, Cardo!
I will never not be bitter about the ending of Kano because those first 8 episodes are fucking brilliant. Ugh.
Yeah,
Anyways,
and then
the music was great, and dear Lord, the vibes, man. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Like, this show could carry itself on its vibes alone for a while if it wanted to, but it doesn't have to, which is great. So I highly recommend the show. It's very good. Eric.
the show's great. I adore the presentation. It's the whole dreamlike vibe of the whole thing. The characters, the mystery revolving around everything. The show's great. Like it doesn't turn into Kado. It doesn't turn into Ego Proxy or anything. It's my brain is falling out of the back of my head. I'm sorry, guys. Show good. Go watch. Yes, yes.
I told you, close the flap. So, I want to kind of not backtrack, but just to give some context to what I said earlier about it not being a show that I would normally watch. In that, yeah, it's these sort of thinky shows. I really do enjoy them, and I mean, I had the hardest time when we were doing the show and the watching. We had to skip a week because of life. I was really tempted to just like finish the series and then not tell anyone. Like these kind of shows, if they've got these hooks that are asking questions and I want to know the answer, I've got to know the answer. Okay? I am not a 3-episode tester. If I start a show, I'm finishing it, regardless of if it's good or not. In that sense, this show hooked me. Like I say, it's not a show I'd watch for fun. And now that I know the answer, I'm not sure whether, now that it doesn't have that hook, I'm not sure I'd enjoy it a second time round, or I probably, I might see different things that I didn't see the first time, that kind of thing. But it's like watching, as Eric mentioned it earlier, it's like watching Knives Out. Once you know the plot, it's like, cool. It's that initial mystery, that initial puzzle that hooked me, so to speak. Also, it's the best advertisement for lemon pepper chicken. Just like,
yes.
yes.
I think there's like a meal in like every episode of this series, and the food always looks good.
Always
so.
looks good.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, no, it is a good show. Like I say, it's not a yeah, I'm going round in circles. Good show, go watch.
I think that you kind of landed on a good way of putting it, Gav, which is that it's a great experience, I think, to have as a show. It's not one that you're going to watch and every single time you're going to be excited, every single time you're going to have a laugh. Although I would say that because of the memorable characters. And especially Yame, like there are a lot of great little moments that can be had to kind of like brighten your way through what is otherwise just kind of a story that is an exploration of the value of nostalgia versus moving forward. And I will say that as someone who watched this show for the second time because I was watching it with you guys, I think that it's a great show to share with someone else if you want to watch it again, to see their reactions. One of the most interesting things about our watch through together was knowing stuff that was happening and knowing the context of things that were being foreshadowed and wondering when you guys were going to guess certain things. And that also kind of informed me on like, oh, this is like a well-paced casual sci-fi mystery because like I could tell at what rate like you guys were getting a general idea, but at the same time it took you until like just a little bit before the reveal of what the whole thing was for you to have that entire picture. There are enough red herrings that are still leading you in the right direction that it makes the development of this interesting. And so, as someone who went through that, I can tell you that, like, if you have already watched this and you're thinking about watching it with someone else, give that a shot because it is fun to watch someone else watch that kind of thing. I think that the best experience I had being on the opposite end of that was when I watched The Prestige with Nicole, who knew the twist going into it, and her main source of entertainment as we were watching it was me in real time figuring out what was going on. and that can be a great experience to have
Oh, sure.
sometimes when you're
Yeah, yeah.
watching something. So this might be something that you'll actually want to try watching twice, just for exactly that kind of experience.
Yeah.
It's a well-crafted show
Mhm.
that adapts a very good story with very good characters. So I don't know if this is going to go in my top list, but it's going to have a nice little spot in my
Yeah.
oh, this is a nice different change of pace
Oh, yeah.
series to experience.
Yeah, I mean, we have a category of this is the best show I never ever want to watch again.
This is not in
It's
that.
definitely not. It's not in that. No, it's
No.
it does have rewatchability. Just maybe
Yeah,
give it a
this
couple of years.
is
You know.
this isn't Psychono.
No. Oh, we need to get Nick to watch that one.
No, we don't.
No.
We do not need to inflict the angle grinder misery on Nick.
Have you seen how sad I am?
It is a very, very, very good, very, very depressing show,
Yes.
which this is not.
No.
This is not. This is a pretty great show that
That is not depressing. At least not the whole way through, at least.
Yeah. It's actually relatively uplifting towards the end.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, I think that's going to do it for this episode, folks.
Yeah.
Thank you all for joining us. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you liked the episode, all sorts of engagement helps the channel out. I'd appreciate it. So,
Validate us.
Likes, comments. If you're not subscribed to the channel, subscribe. That'd be great. You know, other stuff goes live. But that's going to do it for tonight, guys. Thank you so much for joining us. And Nick, thank you so much for doing this. This is a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We're gonna have to do it again at
absolutely.
some point.
Joining us, dude.
Yeah, I've got 9 other recommendations we can try. Some of them are not as good as this one. so-
I'm shocked. Anywho, that's going to do it. So this is Mecha Jam saying thank you so much for joining us, and we'll see you all next time. Bye, everybody.
Bye,
Bye, buddy.